Welcome to my channel, RPG Retro Reviews. I'm Captain Courageous, and I review old school modules and games and talk about how you might use them in your current campaign. I also do the occasional how-to video, and this is one of those. In this video, I'm going to talk about making your own authentic-looking original D&D booklet reprints and reference sheets. Why would you want to do this, you ask? Well, for most D&D enthusiasts, that might be obvious. A quick check of the cost of the original booklets on eBay or just about anywhere really reveals they are prohibitively expensive for most. Further, the methods used to make the original books are easily recreated with modern home printing methods, and thus, with the right materials, quality reproductions of the original rules of D&D and its supplements is easily achieved. So, before I get started on the how-to, let's talk about the materials you will need for the best results. First, you will want to invest in a booklet stapler such as the one shown here. The reasons are obvious. You will need a precise way to staple your booklet together. These can be found on Amazon, reasonably priced at about $12. Another thing you will want to invest in is a paper guillotine. Now, these can be a bit expensive, but if you hit the $40 price range, you should end up with one that is very sharp and gives you the room you need to work and get good results. If you do any kind of paper printing projects around the house, getting one of these is a must anyway, so you'll use it over and over again. Or you could just go to Staples once you get all your booklets printed and use theirs. Either way, watch your fingers. You will need some cardstock paper for the covers. I went with a parchment style that was similar but not an exact copy of the originals, and this achieved the look I was going for. I was pretty pleased with the results. This is really up to you and your tastes, so have fun with it. You will want to use a quality 24-pound paper. The better paper you use, the better the ink will look, and you won't have any bleed-through of text from the double-side printing. The HP 24 premium paper is very nice, in that it has just a hint of gloss over it, making for a smooth printing surface that takes to the ink very well. I think it goes without saying that you will need a decent printer. I'm using an HP OfficeJet 3830 all-in-one printer, which has provided me with great results. You will want to use something like this or better. Next, you will need to acquire PDF copies of the original rules, supplements, and reference sheets. The easiest, most straight-up way to achieve this is on the DM's Guild, where the 2013 reprints are all available on PDF. This will provide you with some high-quality reprints, but for the purist, can leave a lot to be desired. First off, the covers have all been redone, and a lot of the material, especially in Gods, Demigods, and Heroes supplement, has been omitted or changed from the originals due to copyright reasons. Getting a scan of the originals is rather easy, but the quality of many of the scans leaves a lot to be desired. They are available on Drive-Thru RPG, and the scans are essentially the 2013 reprints, but printing these scans provides other problems, most notably with the old covers. As you can see here, the cover has been scanned fully, so you'll get that brown parchment color printing out on your parchment cardstock, which you absolutely do not want. You'll end up with a border as well, shown here with this Blackmore example, which is also not desirable. So, the solution to the cover printing is you need one that has been carefully reconstructed with the background parchment color bled out, but the other colors retained. Fortunately, some wonderfully anonymous person has already done this, which I've left a link for in the description. Getting the best quality PDFs, I'll leave to you and your Google foo. Now, once we have all of the above acquired, we're ready to begin the actual printing. For this demonstration, I'm going to print out Volume 1, Men and Magic from the original box set. Now, to do this, I ran into an interesting problem, in that the high-quality scan I acquired was a combined PDF. the box art, and all 3 volumes in one PDF. Now, I definitely want to use this scan because the resolution is very high and it's been made searchable. This means that the text has been recreated in the PDF and highlightable for copying, and obviously you can search it. The important thing to remember is that whenever you scan a document, it degrades slightly in quality. The print quality for the originals wasn't that best to begin with, so a straight up scan, even at a high resolution, will have some degradation. Here are some screen captures from the high quality searchable scan, and you can see printing from this digital recreation will prevent the degradation issue. So I'm definitely using this, but since it's all combined into one and I want individual booklets and I don't want to use the covers either. As you can see, the original parchment color from the covers was scanned as well, which is, as I said, is not desirable. So, scrolling through the PDF, we find that the first page I want to print, the cover page, begins on page 4, and the final page I want to print is on page 39. So, let's set up to print in the PDF. So, starting on the left-hand side of the PDF, we'll go to File, then Print. In the middle of the pop-up menu, we'll select Booklet. Under Pages to Print, we'll select Pages and enter 4 through 39 as our page range. Now go to Booklet Subset and make sure both sides are selected. If you have a printer that prints both sides at once, you're basically done. As you can see, on the next row, Sheets From, this will require only 9 pages of paper. Make sure binding is set to the left. Also note that in order for our pages to coalesce correctly, we'll want to print from back to front. Most modern printers do this automatically, so there's nothing for you to do here. Under Properties, you can set your print quality to normal. Draft will save you on ink, but I wouldn't recommend that setting on, as the text and artwork will not be very good. Make sure you have at least 9 pages of paper in the printer and hit Print. Once it's done, you'll probably need to refeed the paper through to get the other side printed. The printer and the PDF will prompt you to do this. Be careful not to reverse feed your paper through or you'll ruin your project. Once you refeed the paper, return to the PDF, you'll have a pop-up window. Hit Continue. Next, we'll print our cover. Note that Men and Magic had some artwork on the inside cover, so you'll need to basically follow the procedures above, but for only 1 page. Feed your cardstock parchment paper into your printer and using the special cover PDFs provided with the parchment background removed to print your cover. The result should look like this. Flip through your booklet pages and make sure everything is in the correct order. If you followed the instructions above correctly, it should be. Do not fold your pages yet. We won't do that till after we staple the booklet together. Now it's time to assemble your booklet. Add the cover you just printed to the completed booklet and get your booklet stapler. Now, before we actually staple the booklet, we want to make sure the stapler is properly adjusted for this size booklet. If you notice, the stapler should have a stopper and probably some measure marks so you can staple with precision. I recommend that you check your settings by carefully folding a blank sheet of paper in half. Go ahead and use a straight edge and a pen to mark your crease. Now use the measure of the stapler to set the proper length. For 8.5 by 11 inch paper, this should be 4 1/4 inches. Now carefully put in your test paper and staple. You should have a staple in the crease. If you don't, adjust accordingly until you have a perfectly centered staple. Make sure when stapling your booklet you've carefully lined up all your papers. The cover should be facing up, and at about 1.5 inches from the edges, apply 2 staples. Press firmly for best results. Any hesitation will result in a poor grip of the staple. Now you're ready to fold your booklet. You will want to end up with the staples aligned to the left perfectly so that you can leaf through the booklet easily. Carefully fold in half. Once I get everything lined up, I use a large clamp to hold it in place and do just a little test fold with a minor crease. If the staples look good, go ahead and give it a good hard folding crease. You can use 2 thick books with your booklet in the middle and just stand on it to get a good pressure and your booklet to lie flat. It will take some time before it's perfectly folded. A day pressed between books on a bookshelf works well too. Now if you notice, the center pages of your new booklet will stick out more than the end pages. To correct this, we're going to use the paper guillotine. Press the booklet against the alignment edge at the top, carefully lining things up so the cardstock cover is just a fraction from the cutter's edge and the uneven pages overhang the edge. Press firmly down on the booklet, holding in place, and give the cutter a good firm press down. Watch your fingers, and you'll end up with a nicely edged result. And that's it. You've made your first booklet. These are very easy to do once you get the methodology down. Just repeat with the other 6 booklets, and you'll have your own set of original D&D booklets to use and play, or just as a conversation piece with your friends. Now, the box is a different matter altogether. I made mine by cutting up a gift box, but I must admit I'm not entirely satisfied with the result. Gift boxes are rather flimsy. I've been unable to find a pre-made box of appropriate size online. If anyone knows of someone who can make the box or is making a box for D&D booklets, please let me know in the comments. Now, for the box printing, I used full-page label paper, which is just perfect. You can get 100 sheets of label paper on Amazon for just $11.99. Once again, another great material for a variety of printing projects. Much better than trying to use a glue stick. I use this kind of paper to make game counters, which I can apply to heavy cardstock that's just too thick to pass through a printer with great results. The side labels I actually made myself in paint.net using an actual box for reference. These are easily recreated if you know that the regular text font used for TSR publications during this era was Fax Sans, and that the D&D logo is made using a font called Quentin Caps. Carefully lift the GK logo from the PDF for the covers using the snapshot feature, and you can recreate side labels like this. Once printed out on a label paper, you can use your paper guillotine to accurately cut to the appropriate size. As you can see from the box I made myself, it's not that bad. It's just not the right proportions or the right material, and I plan on remaking it or having someone else make it for me. Now, let's talk about the reference sheets. These present their own unique problem in that every scan I was able to get a hold of was not presented in the proper order for booklet printing. There are 2 ways to rectify this problem. You can booklet print 1 page at a time, refeeding the paper through the printer to achieve the desired results, or you can use the PDF snapshot feature and remake the pages in a paint program and print them out that way. Either way, the key is to know the proper original order, which is what the following 10 slides will show you. You can use this video as a reference and pause it to recreate your originals. Please enjoy the relaxing samba music during the slideshow. Lastly on this channel, I frequently review and discuss OSR versions of the original D&D rules, and as I've pointed out, there are some great tweaks in those rules, and certainly the better organization is a plus in making the game more enjoyable to play. Now with that said, I'd like to direct you to a purist version of original D&D. It's called Dungeons & Dragons Single Volume Edition. And this is literally the 3 little brown booklets reorganized and represented in a more readable and easy to follow format. In almost all cases, the text is the original text from the original rules with a few minor editing corrections here and there. It was done by a gentleman who calls himself Greyharp and his friend Illmail. Basically, the OD&D rules are given a more familiar format, similar to how Holmes and Maldvay would do it. There are no rules changes or additions. This is strictly the rules, little brown booklets reorganized and better presented. It's really a great version of the game, and if you want to play a real purist version of original D&D, you can't get any better than this. And this will make referencing spells and looking up monsters and just your entire gameplay a lot easier and smoother with this volume edition. So a link to the PDF is in the description. And that's about all I have for you today. I hope you have fun with this project. I know I did. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and click the little bell so you'll get notices when I upload more content. Consider supporting me on Patreon. The link is in the description. And as always, my friends, may your D20 roll true and game on.